This video explains how you can write tests in Mocha and Chai framework in JavaScript, Node.js. So what we are going to do is we are going to set up one simple Node.js project in which I will demonstrate how you can create the test files and execute the tests using Mocha. So first of all, you have to create a project directory. And here you can see right now I'm using Visual Studio Code for creating my project. And right now I'm in temp directory, as you can see here. So you can create any other directory for your project. Right now I'm under temp directory. And here I can create a new project using npm init command. And this S flag basically will create default node project for me without asking any questions like project name and author name, etc. The default values will be picked up automatically. And as you can see on the left hand side, it will generate some files. So it has generated a package.json file for us. As you can see, the default values it has picked up. The name is the directory name. So that's why I was stressing that you need to create the project directory first, because that will be taken as the package name or project name. Then version, in the script there is a test, the main is index.js, the repository is this one, mocha-chai.git. So I have already pushed this project to Git, and that's why it is showing this URL, repository URL. But sometimes we will not see this section, especially if you haven't initialized the Git in current directory. Okay, so that is how your file will look like. There's nothing fancy here, just simple attributes for your project. Now next thing that we want to do is we want to install the Mocha and Chai libraries, because that is what we are going to need to write the tests in Node.js. And command for that is this one, npm install save tab, and followed by name of the packages that we want to download and install. First one is Mocha, second one is Chai. Chai is assertion library. Mocha doesn't come with assertion library. It is just a simple plain test framework. It doesn't have its own assertion library, so we have to depend on third-party library. So we are using Chai because Chai is a very popular assertion library in Node.js. And you can ignore these other libraries as of now, because we are not going to need this in this particular video. I will explain those packages later on. Mocha Awesome, React Home, Mocha Parallel Tests. We will need that to some different things. So right now just focus on Mocha and Chai. And save tab flag is used because we are downloading the dependencies that are required for testing the project. So there are two types of files mainly in a project. One is our project files and one is test files. Project files is actually that is used to run the program. For example, let's say you are creating a web application. Then all the files dependencies that are required to develop or run the web app, those dependencies are called as project dependencies, actual dependencies that will be required to run the application. But whatever is required to test the application, that is called as test dependencies. Those dependencies needs to be flagged with save tab. And what happens is when you install those using save tab flag, in package.json you will see some changes here. There will be another attribute that will be added, or the property that will be added, called as dependencies, test dependencies, and then it will contain all these packages there. So after installation is finished, you can notice package.json file will get modified automatically. As you can see, it says tab dependencies, because these dependencies are required just to develop the project, not to run the project or publish the project. So that's done. And now it's time to write the test and execute the test. So normally by default, Mocha will find the test files in the test directory in your project. So we need to create the test directory. For that is the command make dir tests. So the test directory is created, and here you can create a new file. So I'm just going to create a new file called as first test.js, and the file is created over here. You can see I'm just going to paste that first test. So briefly I will explain what this test is doing. First of all, we are requiring this chai library and referring to the expect function. Then describe is basically used to, you can consider it as a test class in JUnit test framework. If you use JUnit in Java, it is similar to a test class, and in that we can have multiple tests. So IT is nothing but a single test, individual test you can call it, and we can have multiple tests inside the describe section. Here you can give the feature description, what we want to test, and in here the exact specific test details you can put here. And this is our test code, where length is equal to sagar.length. So what we are doing is we are getting the length of this string sagar and then comparing that its length is equal to 5. It's very simple test, and then program ends. So this is the syntax in JavaScript. If you are new to JavaScript, Node.js, then let me explain you that this is the first parameter for this describe function, and the second parameter this is the second parameter. So second parameter is basically, it's another function. Basically you can see that it's another function. It's a callback function, you can call it. So in that function we have got this code, and this it is another test method or test function. Its second argument is another function. So that is how the Node.js is designed. Like we have got callback methods that get called, and that's how they call it. That's why this Node.js is called as asynchronous programming language. So I will explain those what is asynchronous, that thing later on in the sections, but right now just focus that this is the test code. What we are doing is we are checking that sagar's length is 5. Now to run the test, what you have to do is you have to use Mocha command, npx mocha, so the test, it looks for the test directory actually, so we need to rename this here. Instead of test, it should be test. Let us run it now again. As you can see, the one first test has passed. So npx mocha is the command that you can use to run the test, but there are other ways as well which you can use. For example, in the package.json you can put here the test script, which basically calls mocha here. So now if you call npm test, so whatever is the script name is here that you have to give here, and then execute it using npm. So again the same thing. So these are two commands that we can use, npx mocha and npm test. That way you can invoke your tests. As I said, we can have multiple tests. As you can see here, this is first step, this is the second test. That's how we can have multiple tests in a single test file or describe function. Okay, so we have seen how to execute tests using npm test and npx mocha commands. Now, as I said earlier, it is gonna check the test files in the test directory, but let us say you have stored the files in some other directory, then how to tell Mocha to find the tests in that directory. So for that you can use this syntax. Basically you can pass another argument where you are saying that okay, you can find the tests in XYZ directory and all the subdirectories as well. So let us try this one. Let us rename it to tests. Now if you run this npm test command, it will say test not found because there is no test directory. As you can see, we have got the error, and now what we are going to do is we are going to explicitly pass the file, that is test file. Let us see if it works. And as you can see, it has found those files in the test directory. So we have explicitly told the Mocha that okay, go to this directory and find the files with .js extension and execute the test in those files. So that's it in this video. If you have more questions on Mocha and Chai, let me know in the comments. And in the next video, we are going to look at different types of assertions that are available in Chai library. Thanks for watching this video.